Well, the January 6th committee report is out, and we have some new details about Utah Senator Mike Lee's efforts to help Donald Trump overturn his loss to Democrat Joe Biden in the 2020 election. The report says Lee spent a month encouraging the idea of having state legislatures endorse alternate electors for Trump, especially in states where Trump lost to Biden. The report cuts against Lee's consistent claim that he was merely investigating rumors that the states were going to be sending alternate electors to Congress. The report gives even more evidence that Lee took an active role in the so-called fake electors plot, while it does nothing to support his claim that he was merely an investigator. We know Lee was texting then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows about the alternate elector scheme that was cooked up by conservative lawyers John Eastman and Kenneth Chesebro. But the report reveals that Lee was also texting with Trump legal advisor Cleta Mitchell. Mitchell was part of that infamous phone call that Trump made to Georgia election officials where he was trying to pressure them to find 11,780 votes to overturn his loss to Biden.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
The text messages Mitchell turned over to the committee show Lee taking a hard pivot away from the alternate electors plot. He seemingly understood that it was doomed to failure because no state legislatures had signed off and decided to send alternate slates of electors to Washington. He also objected to the plan to have members of Congress object to certifying the election results anyway, even though there were no alternate electors, which he called a dangerous idea. We've also known for some time that Donald Trump called Lee's phone on January 6th, right as a mob of his supporters were overrunning and attacking the U.S. Capitol. Trump had actually misdialed Lee's phone and was looking for Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville. What we learned from the report is that Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani called Lee's phone after the riot was over. Giuliani also left a voicemail on Lee's phone that was intended for Senator Tuberville. In that message, Giuliani was begging for Republican members of Congress, pretty much anybody, to delay the certification of the Electoral College vote to buy time for those state legislatures to meet and possibly decide to send alternate electors or decertify their elections or whatever step they were going to take to try to keep Trump in power. In a footnote, we learned that evening, Lee texted then National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien complaining about Giuliani's voicemail. In one of those texts, Lee called Giuliani, quote, walking malpractice. Lee has continuously argued that he has been exonerated in the alternate elector scheme because in the end he didn't go along with it, much like a handful of his Republican colleagues in the Senate who voted to object to certifying Joe Biden's win even though there were no alternate electors from state legislatures. Lee has never publicly explained what he would have done if states had sent alternate electors to Congress on January 6th.